Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the newest offering from Reate knives, and that is the Horizon C. So this is actually my fourth Reate knife. I picked up the Horizon A, the District 9A, I think, and then the Hills, and now the Horizon C. I initially wasn't going to get this knife, but then he showed pictures of it, and he showed the multi-row bearing system, and alas, I could not help myself yet again. So, I'm sure most of you have heard of Reate knives. They are a Chinese company, and they are, I think, fairly well known throughout the knife community at this point at producing really high quality knives that offer a tremendous amount of value. So let's get into this particular one. There are a couple things I want to accomplish. One is the normal format, specs, overall impression, details, and at the end I would like to compare it to the Horizon A model, which is a little bit apples to oranges, but I think it offers some insights or discussion points or something potentially worthwhile. I don't know. But anyways, this is how it ships. Comes with their kind of padded case here, which is nice. And then we also have here a small baggie with additional washers, an additional stainless steel lock insert, and additional screws to ensure, you know, the longevity of the knife. So if you wear through your stainless steel lock insert or you wear down your washers, kudos to you for using the crap out of that knife. I don't anticipate I'll ever actually have to use these, but it's a nice feature nonetheless. So that was a nice touch. All right. So let's get into it spec-wise. We are taking a look at a knife that has an overall length of about 8.7 inches. Blade length, according to my measurements, is about 3.8, so a fairly large blade. Handle length is about 4.9. The handle thickness in this direction is 0.54 inches thick, and then the width at the widest point in this way is about 1.4 inches wide. So those are the basic specs. Weight is coming in on my scale at 6.75 ounces, so you know, it's got a bit of heft to it, but you know, it certainly feels robust, and I have no problems with the weight for normal carrying jeans and so forth. But the other obvious features are this is a flipper model. It is a titanium frame lock with a stainless steel lock insert. It does use ceramic multi-row bearing system, which is pretty legit, and then a ceramic detent S35VN blade steel with a nice satin finish. So 3D titanium pocket clip and standoffs. So those are the basic specs on this one. It is made in China. The price coming right now, we are in just about February of 2015 here. They are coming right out the gate at about $250. So that's a $50 price increase over the previous model, which is the Horizon B, which is what this one compares quite favorably against. And is it worth it? I'll leave that up to you, but there's a lot of other players in the 240, 250 range, namely the ZT0562CF, among others. So, you know, they're increasing the prices, there's more competition, but it's still a good knife. I mean, it's a great knife. There's nothing wrong with the fit and finish, but that is enough rambling. Let's get into the specifics, and let's start out with the two models that preceded this one. Here we have the Horizon A, which isn't the best comparison since it is a little higher tier as far as construction steel goes, and then the Hills model. So as you can see, this kind of fits nicely in between the two. You have the handle patterns and kind of the layout here from the Hills scaled up into the Horizon size. And then it's been given a new blade shape with a fuller and so forth. Actually, the handles, they differ a little bit, but the same basic idea between the Hills and the Horizon C. But the size is the same, definitely as the A and the B here. So anyways, this is where it draws its design language. This is how it fits into the kind of the scheme of things as it is. And I will try to do a comparison between these two at the end. So just to kind of point out the differences, we'll pretend that this is the B model and that it is not awesome and heavily modified. So, all right, let's get into the specifics on the C here. So as I already mentioned, S35 blade steel does use a satin finish. It's got this really cool fuller or blood groove, whatever you want to call it, in the blade. It is kind of a blasted finish here. High satin here. This thing does pick up quite a few fingerprints though, but it is a flat grind and it does slice well, so has a very even cutting edge on both sides, came very sharp, nice strong tip. But a very useful blade shape. I took it to work and I went through a number of boxes just to test it out, and it fared very well, and I haven't noticed any deformations or any dullness in the edge from all the cardboard cutting, so pretty happy with that. There is some jimping up top. It's very low traction. I'd call it probably useless for the most part, but it looks good, I guess. There's that. The flipper tab, again, is the forward cant with the jimping. Very functional. This is my favorite flipper shape. Allows for light switch and push button. Both work tremendously well. Now, the nice thing is about the handle is this really cool black finish. I think he was able to do this without coating the tie. I don't know how he was able to get it this dark, but I love it. I love the handle. It's not going to show anywhere. It just looks really cool. So if someone knows exactly how that was done, I'd be very curious to hear. So you do have a kind of a satin brushed pivot here. Looks the same on both sides. And then the hardware throughout is satin as well, the screws at least. So it looks really good. You know, the screws to the pivot to the blade, nice cohesive look. You do have the 3D Machine titanium pocket clip that you find on Horizon A and B, and it's a very nice pocket clip. I like it quite a bit. There's a lanyard hole in the back, and then you have these spacers here, barrel spacers. Now I do wish that the spacers and the pocket clip were the same colors, but I believe the spacers were polished, and this was probably blasted or something, and that is why you have the difference in the sheen and the color essentially. So if they could make those the same, that'd be pretty awesome, but it is what it is. So ergonomically, it's fairly comfortable in the hand. This is kind of a relatively flat knife, but this finger groove right here with the cutout, it makes it fairly comfortable. Again, doing some hard cutting on boxes, I didn't find any hot spots or anything, so I was happy enough with that. You do have a stainless steel lock insert, and then the lock bar cutout has been nicely chamfered on both sides to allow for easy disengagement. Then you find that chamfering here along the top too, so your finger's not going to get jacked up if you flip it a lot. All right. One other thing that I really like is the transition between the handle and the blade with this kind of fuller here, sweeping up into the handle on both sides. Really nice feature. The 777 probably was the most well-executed design, kind of using that idea, but this one's nicely done too. So anyways, flipping action is pretty tremendous. It has an even stronger detent than the A and the B. So this is not for the faint of heart when flipping. It's not difficult, it's just a really strong detent, and the really useful flipper tab shape makes it fairly easy to do for me at least. So yeah, so that was pretty well done. Other than that, the multi-row bearing system is very smooth. One thing though is after you disengage the lock bar and it comes down here, you have to overcome the detent ball has to get up onto the tang of the blade, and it does meet a fair amount of resistance there, so hopefully that breaks in over time. But a nice feature would have been to do a cutout, kind of that V-shaped cutout on the side where the detent ball hits to make it a seamless transition onto the tang. So a few companies have done that at this point. The one that pops in my head right now is Guardian Tactical, and that's a feature I love that this one might need because it offers quite a bit of resistance there. But anyhow, I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting. No, I think that's good for now. All right, let's take a look and compare it with the Horizon A. So again, a more favorable comparison would be the Horizon B, as that one does have standoffs and it has screws showing on this side, and it has S35V and the A here. A little bit more premium, so let's pretend this is the B for now. But ergonomically, I think that the Horizon A and the B come ahead here. It actually swells up a little bit in the middle and then tapers on the sides, so it has a more comfortable grip in the hand. And then the jimping up here is medium traction, so it actually locks in your thumb to a useful degree. So ergonomically, the Horizon A and B are better. It's also a lot easier to overcome the for the detent ball to overcome the tang of the blade. So when you disengage it, it's more likely, it's a little bit smoother. And again, this one might smooth out over time. I've only had it for a week, but yeah, not that the single row is smoother than the double row bearing system, but it's just easier for the detent ball to overcome the tang right there. So, but they're both tremendous flippers. They're both excellent knives. There is a price differential though, and what we're looking at with the Horizon B currently, assuming that you can find it in stock, it's about $200. This one's coming in at $250. Is there $50 more in this knife? Maybe. I don't know, the multi-row bearing system is really cool. I obviously liked it enough to buy this one, even though I already have the A. There is supposed to be a more premium version of this one coming, possibly in the next 3-4 months or so, that might have M390 and a partially enclosed backspacer. But there's no projections on that just yet. Now there is also going to be a carbon fiber version of the Horizon coming out. That's projected to be about March. And that's all I really know about it. I'm not sure if it's going to be just one side carbon fiber, which I think. I don't know the price or anything like that, so we'll just have to see kind of what comes with, in that regard. But there's also a weight difference, 6.3 versus 6.75 ounces. And I think that's pretty much it. So again, they're both solid offerings. In the $250 range, there's more competition like the 562. But this is another really solid offering from Reate Knives. I'm very happy with it. I really like kind of the overall package. I love the black and the gold. Locks up perfectly, rock solid. So again, just another really strong offering from Reate Knives. So if you're interested, these will be at all the major retailers, Blade HQ, GP Knives, Knife Center, possibly White Mountain Knives as well. So should be a number of different retailers who stock them, and then sometimes you can find them on the secondary market. So anyways, I'll put some comparison shots in the links below so you guys can see kind of an overhead view and get a really good idea of the size between these three knives and so forth. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to let me know. Hopefully this helps you decide if you're going to pick up this knife as well, or if you've been holding out for this particular knife. Anyways, thanks so much for watching and for your continued viewership, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.